Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair Union Council of Ministers meeting today. Goods and Services Tax GST system to complete 4 years tomorrow. Supreme Court directs Centre to frame guidelines for payment of ex gratia compensation to families of COVID-19 victims. Commercial international flights to remain suspended till 31st of July. Over 33 crore 28 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. National recovery rate improves to 96.92%. Over 45,000 new cases reported in the last 24 hours. Prime Minister to interact with beneficiaries of Digital India tomorrow. In women's cricket, India to take on England in the second one-day international cricket match this evening. In Euro Cup soccer, Spain to clash with Switzerland in the first quarter-final on Friday. And in Wimbledon tennis, favourites Roger Federer, Andy Murray and Alexander Zverev advance to next round. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others to get vaccinated. We also advise them not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a meeting with the Council of Ministers later in the day today. He is expected to review the overall COVID-19 situation in the country and discuss the ongoing vaccination program. Political observers feel the Council of Ministers meeting assumes significance as it is being held at a time when political circles are abuzz with speculation of a cabinet expansion and reshuffle. The meeting will be held virtually. The Director General of Civil Aviation (DGCA) today issued a circular saying scheduled commercial international flights will remain suspended till 31st of July. However, it said the restrictions shall not be applicable on international cargo operations and flights specifically approved by DGCA. Earlier, in an advisory, DGCA said that the airport director or terminal manager should ensure that all passengers are wearing masks and following social distancing norms.
The Supreme Court today directed the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) to frame guidelines for payment of ex gratia compensation to family members of persons who succumbed to COVID-19. A 3-judge bench headed by Justice Ashok Bhushan in its judgment also directed the NDMA to ascertain within 6 weeks ex gratia amount that can be paid to the family members of those who died due to this infection. The court's order came in response to a plea seeking ex gratia of 4 lakh rupees each to the families of those who succumbed to the virus. The centre had submitted by affidavit that state governments cannot afford to pay this and had argued in favour of a broader approach, including health interventions. Over 33 crore 28 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry today said the recovery rate in the country has increased to 96.92%. Total recoveries across the country so far have gone over 2 crore 94 lakh. Over 60,000 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. Daily recoveries continue to outnumber the new cases for the 48th consecutive day. Over 45,000 new cases were reported during the last 24 hours. The country's active caseload declined to over 5,37,000. Active cases constitute 1.77% of the total cases. Weekly positivity rate remains below 5% and it is currently at 2.69%. Daily positivity rate is at 2.34% and it is less than 5% for 23 consecutive days. In all, 817 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. The death toll due to the pandemic has reached over 398,000. The Health Ministry said testing capacity has been substantially ramped up. Until now, over 41 crore 1 lakh tests have been conducted.
The centre has provided over 32 crore 13 lakh vaccine doses to states and union territories so far. The vaccines have been given through the central government free of cost channel and direct state procurement category. More than 73 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and UTs. Over 24 lakh 65,000 vaccine doses are in the pipeline and will be sent to states and UTs within the next 3 days. The Maharashtra government has informed the Bombay High Court of its willingness to permit door-to-door COVID-19 vaccination within the state on an experimental basis, subject to certain conditions. The bench of Chief Justice Dipankar Datta and Justice G.S. Kulkarni was hearing the plea seeking door-to-door COVID-19 vaccination for citizens above 75 years of age and those who are specially abled or bedridden. The affidavit filed yesterday stated that once the state government approves this proposal, it will be sent to the central government for its approval. The affidavit said home vaccination will be done only for beneficiaries who are truly immobile and bedridden. Hence, such a certificate from a treating doctor of the beneficiary has to be obtained.
The centre has sought report from the West Bengal government over the issue of fake vaccination camps in Kolkata. In a letter to the State Chief Secretary, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan asked him to submit a factual report in the next 2 days. Citing Leader of Opposition in West Bengal Assembly, Suvendu Adhikari's letter to the ministry over the issue, the Secretary said all vaccination sessions for COVID-19 have to be organized through the CoWIN portal, and all vaccinations too have to be recorded on CoWIN. He added that vaccination certificates are generated from CoWIN after the vaccination events are successfully recorded, and these certificates are then given to the beneficiaries in digital or physical form. Gujarat has surpassed 2.5 crore doses of corona vaccines till date. According to official figures, as many as 2 crore 53 lakh 93,866 vaccination doses have been administered in the state to the eligible beneficiaries above the age of 18 years. Age group, an official release said that out of the total eligible persons in the age group of above 18 years in the state, more than 40% of the persons have been given the first dose till date, and 55,31,284 persons have been given the second dose. In Karnataka, the state government has made it mandatory for those entering the state from Maharashtra to produce either an RT-PCR negative report or COVID-19 vaccination certificate. The special surveillance measures being taken in the wake of Delta plus variant cases reported in Maharashtra. The negative report should not be older than 72 hours, and the vaccination certificate should indicate at least 1 dose of vaccination. The Deputy Commissioners of Kalaburgi, Belagavi, Vijayapura and Bidar districts, which share border with Maharashtra, were instructed to deploy Revenue Department personnel at the checkpoints to ensure that the norms are complied with. Airlines, train authorities and public bus operators are made responsible to ensure that the norms are followed. Exemptions are given to the constitutional functionaries, health workers and children below the age of 2 years.
In Assam, 2,672 new cases were reported in the state in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate of 2.64% has been reported. In all, 27 persons succumbed to the disease during the same time span. Golaghat, Nagaon and Shonitpur are some of the districts where most of the cases were reported. On the other hand, Hailakandi, Majuli and South Salmara recorded less than 10 cases yesterday. Meanwhile, Health Minister Keshav Mahanta reviewed the COVID situation with all the medical colleges of Assam yesterday through video conference. He also reviewed the pediatric care facilities in the state. In Madhya Pradesh, the recovery rate has increased to 98.8%, while the number of active cases has come down to 630. No new case of COVID has been reported in 37 out of 52 districts in the state. More from our correspondent.
There is neither any new or any active case present in 6 districts including Ashoknagar, Burhanpur, Devas, Khandwa, Mandla and Seedhi. 712 patients of mucormycosis are still undergoing treatment in the state. Special attention is being paid to their treatment. New cases of corona have been reported only in 15 districts of the state. 7 new cases have been reported in Bhopal and 6 in Indore. In the remaining districts, less than 5 new cases have been reported. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Dr. Rajesh Malhotra of AIIMS New Delhi has said that vaccination is not just essential for an individual, but it also helps in living a healthy life for his or her near and dear ones. In fact, it is the responsibility of a citizen. He said this in a bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series of All India Radio last night.
अगर वो ये समझते हैं कि कोविड उनका कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ सकता है, तो उन्हें ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि वैक्सीन जो है सिर्फ अपने लिए नहीं लगवाई जाती है, अपने आसपास वालों के लिए, परिवार वालों के लिए, समाज और देश के लिए लगाई जाती है। तो ये आपके लिए कोई चॉइस की बात नहीं है, ये आपका कर्तव्य है, आपका कार्य है। तो ये आपकी जिम्मेवारी पूरे समाज और पूरे देश के लिए है और इसमें किसी भी तरह की हिचकिचाहट जो है वो आपकी मानवता के प्रति हिचकिचाहट है।
Dr. Rajesh Malhotra also said that there are little chances of a third wave if we follow COVID-appropriate wave and vaccination.
बड़ी तीसरी लहर होने की संभावना कम है अगर हम सारे कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर का पालन करें और वैक्सीनेशन जल्दी से जल्दी देश भर में करें, तो मुझे लगता है कि कोई भी वेरिएंट भी इतना बड़ा रूप लेके इस तरह से नहीं आ सकता जैसे कि सेकेंड वेव आई।
Play and Shine Foundation in Raigad district of Maharashtra is providing various helps to tribal students. In Karjat Taluka, it has provided educational material, clothes and shoes to more than 500 students. Nutritional food packets sufficient for 1 month were also given to families of malnourished children. Speaking to AIR News, President of the foundation, Sarthak Vani said,
distributed box of happiness to 1,000 children. This year, we distributed 1 month food kits to 50 tribal families of Khopoli. In Nasik, Pune and Aurangabad, we distributed masks to the needy people. Organized yoga camp for 80 tribal children online of Karjat.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair Union Council of Ministers meeting today. Goods and Service Tax GST system to complete 4 years tomorrow. Supreme Court directs Centre to frame guidelines for payment of ex-gratia compensation to families of COVID-19 victims. Commercial international flights to remain suspended till 31st of July. Over 33 crore 28 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. National recovery rate improves to 96.92%, over 45,000 new cases reported during the last 24 hours. Prime Minister to interact with beneficiaries of Digital India tomorrow. In women's cricket, India to take on England in the second one-day international cricket match this evening. In Euro Cup soccer, Spain to clash with Switzerland in the first quarter-final on Friday, and in Wimbledon tennis, favourites Roger Federer, Andy Murray and Alexander Zverev advance to the next round. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
The Centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The Child Helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 080 46110007. The Ayush COVID-19 Counselling Helpline number is 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp Help Desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Midday News. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with beneficiaries of Digital India tomorrow via video conferencing. The program is being organized by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology on the occasion of Digital India completing 6 years since its launch by Prime Minister on 1st July 2015. Digital India has been one of the biggest success stories of New India. It has enabled services, brought government closer to citizens, promoted citizen engagement and empowered people. The Goods and Services Tax system is going to complete 4 years tomorrow. During the 4 years, several key policy initiatives were taken by the government to make the GST system and compliance mechanism simple, transparent and technology-driven. GST is a remarkable example of cooperative federalism, wherein all the decisions have been taken in the GST Council through consensus. By replacing multi-layered, complex indirect tax structure, GST subsumed more than a score of taxes and paved the way for making India an economic union. More from our correspondent.
The introduction of the Goods and Service Tax is a very significant step in indirect tax reforms. It came into effect from 1st of July in 2017. It promotes the idea of one nation, one tax, one market. With the introduction of GST, ease of doing business has significantly improved in the country. During the last 4 years, the central government, in close coordination with the states and union territories, are continuously engaged in making the GST compliance system simple and transparent. To make the system hassle-free, several key measures have been taken to reduce the compliance burden. Quarterly return monthly payment facility has been introduced from January this year to provide relief to the small taxpayers. Under the scheme, taxpayers need to file their return on a quarterly basis. Earlier, taxpayers had to pay taxes on a monthly basis. The taxpayer who availed this facility now required to file 8 returns instead of 24 returns in a year. Around 90% of the taxpayers under GST are eligible to avail benefit under this scheme. The government has introduced a facility of nil filing of GSTR 3V returns by SMS, which helped 22 lakh taxpayers. E-invoicing facility has also been implemented, which reduced time and cost for generation of e-way bills, which ensured hassle-free movement of goods throughout the country. Over 194 crore e-way bills have been generated so far. To provide relief to the taxpayers and consumers during the COVID-19 pandemic, several medical equipments and medicines have been exempted from IGST. Besides, the amount of late fees has been reduced to provide relief to the taxpayers. Bhupender Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
Various loans offered by non-banking finance companies and microfinance institutes are expected to be expensive from tomorrow. The Reserve Bank of India today communicated the applicable base rate to be charged as 7.98%. It is more than 17 basis points as compared to the current quarter. Last year, it was 8.76% during the same period. Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu, has said that innovation and adapting to new technologies are key elements to spiral growth in the country. Speaking at IIT Madras today, he told that India's own ancient knowledge is a sovereign, priceless treasure. Referring to the ancient trade practices by India, he said that it was a matter of pride that the Indian youth have opted to increase startup activities in new technologies like artificial intelligence and foolproof innovations with low-cost budget in building activities.
Ladakh Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur chaired the Ladakh Conclave on Youth Policy, Education and Jal Jeevan Mission in Leh yesterday. Mr. Mathur appealed to Ladakh Autonomous Developmental Councils, LAHDCs, to work on rationalization of schools, preparation of textbooks and create awareness and avenues for the youth to become entrepreneurs rather than job seekers. Here is a report.
The Ladakh Conclave discussed education system with 22,000 students in 907 government schools and over 29,000 students in 112 private schools. Administration is spending 3.59 lakh rupees to educate each student in Ladakh. LG Mathur appealed Hill Councils to exercise on rationalization of schools to improve student-teacher ratio and infrastructure. He underlined the responsibility of elected representatives and administration to ensure 100% enrollment under the right to education. Mr. Mathur assured issues relating to CBSE recognition to schools and setting up of regional office will be resolved. He also appealed the Hill Councils for preparation of textbooks with Ladakh perspective in standardized local languages to meet the new educational policy requirements. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists were gunned down by the security forces in a gunfire that broke out between the terrorists and the security forces at Chimmar area in South Kashmir's Kulgam district this afternoon. The identity of the slain terrorist is being ascertained. As per official sources, the operation between the joint team of security forces and the terrorists is underway. Further details are awaited. Delimitation Commission team will be on a 4-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir starting from the 6th of next month. During the visit, the Commission members will interact with political parties, public representatives, administration officials including district election officers and deputy commissioners of 20 districts of the Union Territory to gather first-hand information and input concerning the ongoing process of delimitation. A decision in this regard was taken during the Commission's meeting under the chairpersonship of Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai and in the presence of the Chief Election Commissioner, Sushil Chandra.
The Bangladesh government has issued a notification for the strict lockdown starting from the 1st to 7th of July in order to control the spread of coronavirus in the country. According to the notification, all offices including the government, semi-government, autonomous and private ones will remain closed throughout the country. Public transport including railways, roadways, waterways and domestic flights will remain suspended. However, international flights will continue to operate. In Canada, dozens of people have died amid an unprecedented heat wave that has smashed temperature records. Police in the Vancouver area have responded to more than 130 sudden deaths since Friday. Most were elderly people or had underlying health conditions. They said the heat was a contributing factor in many cases. Yesterday, Canada recorded its highest ever temperature for a third straight day of 49.5 degrees Celsius in Lytton, British Columbia. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
दुनिया रंग बिरंगी, खट्टे मीठे रसीले समाचारों का सतरंगी खजाना आकाशवाणी पर। खबरें होंगी हटकर, जानेंगे कुछ अलग, हंसेंगे खुलकर, करेंगे सजग। सुनना न भूलें सोमवार और मंगलवार आज सवेरे तथा शनिवार और रविवार कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में।
Welcome back. With 24 days to go for Tokyo Olympics, today we take a look at the profile of Avinash Samble, who will be part of India's athletics contingent in men's 3,000 meters steeplechase.
Born in a family of farmers on September 13, 1997 at Mandwa in Beed district in Maharashtra, right from the tender age of 6, Avinash would run or walk the 6-kilometer distance between home and school as there was no transport facility in his village. He took part in inter-army cross-country running in 2015 at the insistence of his colleagues before switching to steeplechase. The 26-year-old Avinash shot into the fame when he bettered his personal best and rewrote the national record yet again in men's 3,000-meter steeplechase to win the gold medal at the 24th National Federation Cup Senior Athletics Championships in Patiala earlier this year. Avinash is ranked world number 16 at present. He won silver in his debut international event at the 2019 Asian Athletics Championships in Doha. In 2019, he became the first Indian to qualify for the 3,000 meters steeplechase final at the World Championships. AIR News Sports Desk.
The second one-day international cricket match between India women and England women will be played this evening. The match will be played at the Cooper Associates County Ground, Taunton, England. In the first ODI at Bristol, Team India lost to England.
At Wimbledon, 8-time winner Roger Federer survived a huge scare when French opponent Adrien Manarino was forced to retire injured at the start of the fifth set of their first round tie. Federer was level at 6-4, 6-7, 3-7, 3-6, 6-2 when the 33-year-old Manarino called it quits after suffering a bad fall on the centre court just 1 point in the decider. Earlier two-time champion Andy Murray registered a dramatic 4-set victory over 24th seed Nicolas Balishvili. Number 4 seed Alexander Zverev of Germany began his quest with an easy 6-3, 6-4, 6-1 win over the Dutch qualifier Talon Griekspoor. In women's section, American Serena Williams broke down in tears as her latest attempt for an elusive record-equaling 24th Grand Slam title was cruelly ended by injury in a contest with Belarusian world number 100, Alexandra Sasnovich. The second one-day international cricket match. In the Euro Cup football, battle lines have been drawn for the quarter-final matches. The three-time European champion Spain will now face Switzerland on Friday night in the first encounter, while Belgium will take on Italy in the second match later. Czech Republic will lock horns with Denmark in the third quarter-final, and England will take on Ukraine in the fourth quarter-final on Saturday night in Rome.
At the stock markets, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange rose 130 points or 0.3% to trade at 52,679 in the afternoon session a short while ago. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange added 35 points or 0.2% to trade at 15,784 in intraday trade. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said GST has been a milestone in the economic landscape of India. Mr. Modi said it has decreased the number of taxes, compliance burden and overall tax burden on the common man, while significantly increasing transparency, compliance and overall collection. It has been 4 years since the introduction of GST law, country's biggest tax reform on 1st July 2017.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi may witness the heat wave. Minimum temperature was 30 degrees and the maximum may go up to 42 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 28 while the maximum is expected to be around 33 degrees. Chennai will see a partly cloudy sky. The temperature will vary between 27 and 36 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The minimum temperature was 29 and the maximum will go up to 34 degrees. Srinagar will also see mainly clear skies, may become partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 17 and 33 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear skies. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees, while the maximum will be around 42 degrees. Leh will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum and the maximum temperature will be between 14 and 30 degrees. Gilgit will have mainly clear skies. The temperature will hover between 20 and 39 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear skies, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 21 degrees and the maximum will go around 39 degrees. Dehradun will see partly cloudy skies. The minimum temperature was 25 while the maximum will be around 36 degrees. Chandigarh will have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 29 and the maximum will be around 41 degrees. Lucknow will see partly cloudy skies. The minimum temperature was 28 and the maximum will go up to 40 degrees. Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 25 and the maximum will go up to 31 degrees. Imphal will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 21 and the maximum will be around 28 degrees. Agartala will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rains. The minimum temperature was 25 and the maximum will be around 31 degrees.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair Union Council of Ministers meeting today. Goods and Services Tax GST system to complete 4 years tomorrow. Supreme Court directs Centre to frame guidelines for payment of ex gratia compensation to families of COVID-19 victims. Commercial international flights to remain suspended till 31st of July. Over 33 crore 28 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. National recovery rate improves to 96.92%. Over 45,000 new cases reported during the last 24 hours. Prime Minister to interact with beneficiaries of Digital India tomorrow. In women's cricket, India to take on England in the second one-day international cricket match this evening. In Eurocup soccer, Spain to clash with Switzerland in the first quarter-final on Friday. And in Wimbledon tennis, favourites Roger Federer, Andy Murray and Alexander Zverev advanced to next round. And with that, we end the midday news.